Order. Will everyone please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ralph, you want to do a roll call, please?
Yes, Commissioner Dominic.
Here.
Commissioner Shermack is excused. Mrs. Sacco?
Present.
Mrs. Gatto?
Here.
Mayor Chelik?
Present.
Mr. Tobin is excused for today. And Mr. Patel?
Present.
Okay. Opportunity for the public to address the board on agenda items only.
Public had until 9 this morning to send anything in, and I did not receive anything.
Okay. I don't know what just happened. There you go. Okay. Presentation of minutes for approval. This is the meeting that was held on July 12th, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Okay. On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm going to abstain because I wasn't present at the meeting. Any nays? Okay. Number 5, presentation of vouchers for examination and approval from July 12th through August 9th of 2023. There are just 2 fees, one for attorney Joe Colbasani, our solicitor, in the amount of $1,500, and one for the Lackawanna County Recorder of Deeds, 3 deeds at $40.75 each, totaling $122.25. Do I have a motion to approve those vouchers?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, number 6, bid openings if necessary.
We have no bid openings for today's meeting.
Okay. Discussion items. Subsection A, land bank property disposition update.
Okay, everyone received their land bank property disposition update paper for August 9th. To date, the land bank has conveyed 284 properties countywide. In the city of Scranton, we've conveyed 214. There's 3 properties pending and 4 properties to be acted upon at today's meeting. And just to break down as far as areas of the city, in West Scranton, there were 69 properties conveyed, South Scranton, 57, North Scranton, 45, Green Ridge, 21, East Scranton, 10. We've conveyed 3 properties to the city. United Neighborhood Community Development Corporation, we've conveyed 3 properties. Scranton Lackawanna Resource Development Corporation, 5. Ronald McDonald House 1 in Covington Township, we have conveyed 42. We have 5 properties pending and 2 properties that will be acted upon at today's meeting. In Carbondale, we have conveyed 15 properties, Vanling 1, Feld Township 1, Troop Borough 1, Scott Township 4, with 1 property pending, Thornhurst 3 properties, Jefferson Township 1, Dunmore Borough 2, and Archibald Borough 1 property that's pending. Anybody have any questions on those? Okay.
Are we ready to move on to the next?
Yep.
Subsection B is Blight Task Force update.
Jesse, do you want to just give a quick update? And
sure. I'll give a quick update to the board. As we spoke about at the last meeting, we had the opportunity to host an AmeriCorps crew from the National Community Conservation Corps here this summer for a 6-week period to address blighted lots throughout the city and the county. They were able to clean up 10 of the lots that they were able to clean up were specifically land bank owned properties that Ralph and our team have been targeting and focusing on That team was able to go out and do a lot of great work, clean up those properties, also try to identify neighbors who may be interested in purchasing those properties, and find some other neighbors who may be interested in helping out with long-term maintenance just to keep on top of them. So they did a great job, helped out with the Lackawanna River Heritage Trail and some other projects as well while they're here, and they just completed their service last Friday. So very happy to have some extra hands for the summer to help with land bank owned properties. Well, thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
You know, I just can't say enough about the help that they gave us, to be honest with you. Some of the properties really needed to be cleaned up. And like I told Jesse at an earlier meeting today, that one property at Parker Street and North Main Avenue, you know, I went by it constantly, and now it looks great. So, yeah, Todd also sent me some an email regarding what properties they did, and some of the adjacent property owners, now that they're cleaned up, may be interested in purchasing them. So I'll be reaching out to those property owners to see at this point if they're still interested in purchasing those properties.
That's great.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's great.
I also have to, you know, they cleaned up a property over at the 500 block of Hampton Street, and there was a property owner next to that property that there's a huge tree that just was hanging over her house. And I think she was even having a problem getting insurance. So I met Tony Santilli from the city out there, and we're going to take that, the city's going to take that property down. So I have to thank, you know, them for the city and for Tony to get over there and taking care of that tree. I mean, it's huge. So thanks again for their help as well.
Okay. Subsection C is discussion regarding the sale of former land property, 5-year retention. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Retention. Ralph?
Yeah, I sent an email out with a copy of the letter sent from a property owner who purchased a property up in Covington Township at Eagle Lake, and they want to purchase the property, but according to their letter, they found a more desirable location, so they felt that the property that they bought needed too much work, so they would like to, you know, that was the reason in their letter that they wanted to sell it, because they found another lot. So I mean,
wait, say that again. They purchased the property.
They purchased the property from us in October of 2022, and now they're looking to purchase a property in a more desirable location, according to their letter. They feel that the property that they were going to buy through the land bank needed too much work, so that's the reason they want permission to sell the property.
I'd like to hear from other people before I would just like to hear
Ralph, but as we discussed, if a person wants to basically get out of the 5-year waiting period before they could sell it, we impose conditions on everyone so that we're not hurt, the taxpayer's not hurt, and they don't make a profit. You want to go over those again, maybe?
Yeah.
We don't just let the people get out of the deal they made with this and you know, without any conditions. So
yeah, the conditions.
The point of this was that we don't want people buying our properties and then trying to flip them for a big profit. You know that. So Ralph, why don't you go over? I think you did put it in your
right
email. Just to remind everybody what the conditions are.
The conditions would be the seller identifies the prospective purchaser for the land bank review and vetting, and I put together a form that would go out to that person who owned the property now to fill out, just telling us who they were selling it to. It's just like a regular application, to be honest with you, and I could send that to the board if they'd like to look at it. plus the property is sold at the same price the purchaser paid for the property, plus any approved eligible itemized expenses occurred to date. They had to clean up the property, or, I mean, that would not include taxes. That is not an incurred expense. Okay, so the new owner must comply with the requirement not to sell the property without written approval from the Land Bank Board of Directors within the 5-year period from the date it was first purchased from the land bank. Now, that language must be included in the new deed to the new purchaser. And also a copy, we'd like to see a copy of the conveying settlement statement prior to closing as well, just to make sure that everything is, the taxes are being paid up to date.
Ralph,
Yes.
isn't this the second request we've had within the last several months?
And this is probably the third.
Or the third? Is there something going on with some kind of an assessment being levied on these properties that all of a sudden somebody who buys a property for $500 can't afford to keep it? Is there something going on that we're not familiar with?
Well, I think I did send out, in a previous email that Covington Township is putting a short-term rental. You have to get a short-term rental license on any property. If someone is going to rent the property to someone else for a week, they have to pay a certain amount of money. I forget what the fees were, but they do have to get a license. So,
if the landowner is going to use it for their own recreation, I don't think they have to pay that.
Oh, no, but there are assessment fees up there, but
these are for people who are buying the lots and then renting them out, like.
Right.
Short-term rentals.
Short-term rentals.
Right.
Well, isn't there a way to inform these people, especially the ones that are from like out of state, when they're buying these, that there's associated costs with it, because we're spending our money, moving these even though we may recoup it, it's taking time from us that's starting to recur at this is the third time.
I think these were just imposed this year, correct, Ralph?
Right. Yeah. Well,
the short-term rental. I do believe that, and we've worked with them in the past and with Covington Township to make them aware of the fees that were previous fees for the homeowners that were buying and residing there or using that land. But I believe these short-term rental fees are new that are being assessed.
Well, and moving forward, I could put that, in writing to the prospective purchasers for these properties.
Yes.
I think you need to have not just specific to that property, but like some sort of, maybe Joe can come up with some sort of blanket language that would cover similar situations. In my opinion, the documents that they signed and the information that they were given prior to purchase was clear. Like it was indicated, this is now like the third one. I think it's setting bad precedent by doing this. I think people are going to keep doing it. But I take a hard line. My opinion is I don't think we should permit it.
Well, yeah, I don't know that we've already established a precedent.
Yeah.
And I think this one probably should go through, but after this, I think we have to let people know that we're not going to be that lenient in them reselling it, because all of a sudden it's a financial burden on them.
Maybe we could just add something in our contract, our purchase agreements or applications for those Covington Town, for those particular Eagle Lake
Right.
cases where you say the prospective purchaser is aware of
Right. Yeah.
these fees. Technically they're supposed to do their due diligence and make sure they comply with all local ordinances and zoning. That's in our agreements in general, but maybe if we put just the next going forward, maybe we could just add something in there specific to these Eagle Lake properties, that they're aware that there's a yearly fee if they rent them.
And to Brenda's point, this is something new, and possibly they weren't aware of it at the time when they purchased the property. So, in that
I'm
respect,
sure they were.
yeah, in that
All right,
respect,
so if we establish prior precedent, then if the board wants to allow this, I'll go along with the board. The only way to stop building prior precedent is to stop doing the same behavior over and over. So I think this would be the last one. But I think that you need not only include language specific to the properties in this particular area, but some other, in addition to that, you could be specific to that issue, but there needs to be also a blanket statement that it's their requirement when taking buying a property through land bank to do their due diligence, to be aware of the fact that even if something doesn't exist now, if something exists or comes into effect after their purchase that makes owning that property in their mind less advantageous, or whatever word you want to use it or use, that that's not going to be enough to allow them to resell the property. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because
Yep.
there's this issue in this one particular area, but you want to put, so I would address it specifically to this area, but you should also have, and this is for Joe Colbasani, there should also be maybe a statement that covers this in case it arises in anything arises with regard to taxes or fees or anything in any other municipality that may then cause somebody to argue the same thing. I know I'm not.
We could work on that.
Okay.
We'll
I'm
add
sorry if I
something in
wasn't.
our, I mean, we all got hit with this because that wasn't an issue until recently.
How many parcels have we sold up there?
40,
Do we know?
42. Yeah.
And we had about 3 that wanted to sell.
Well, based on the Merle Sinoski calling, I will move that we allowed these people to sell the property based on the conditions as listed previous.
That's in the form of a motion, right, Mayor?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but I have to bring this up because I'm struggling with it. I'm gonna follow the board, but in the letter, it states the lot we purchased did not have a trailer, was not the exact location we wanted, and would require much work and time before it would be suitable. They knew all of that. They knew that it didn't have a trailer when they purchased it. They knew that it wasn't in the exact location that they wanted, and they knew that it was going to require work. So that's what I have a problem with. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're arguing. So just so we're clear, the basis for the board's position in wanting to allow them to resell this is solely because of what? Just to be clear.
Well, in this case, it'd be a mistake of fact. It has nothing to do with the fees, at least,
I think we need to be clear that if we're going to allow them to redo that, resell this property, we're doing so based upon what are they? I'm sorry, I missed their fees. If fees, newly established fees that are imposed.
No, I don't think so. They should have known what the homeowner association fees or assessments up front. These new ones, they're I guess when they bought this property, their plan was to, clean up the property and put a trailer on it. But I guess they came across another one that maybe the lot was already cleared. But the only thing that if they stop paying taxes on this property, then if we don't approve.
Can I ask a question? Because I think I'm confused. The 2 properties that we allowed before, that we said established precedent. Why did we
Right.
let them, what was the basis for them, for us allowing them to resell?
Well, really, the first gentleman was, he, even though he said in his application that he was using this for his family, it came to polite once he was renting it out on short-term rentals, but then when Covington Township invoked those fees, he no longer wanted. So at that point, that's when the board, did let him sell those properties.
Okay, and what about the second one?
The second one, the couple who they sent a letter in saying that they were going to use it for their family, but I think they too were renting it out as well. And then the short-term rental fees came into effect, and they didn't want it anymore because they do own another property up at Eagle Lake besides that one.
And neither one of them have been able to secure a buyer, correct?
Not yet.
So
okay, so
if we allow them to sell it, they have to find the buyer. The buyer is going to be paying the taxes, and it doesn't fall back on us for them not paying their taxes again, correct? If we refuse it, they have to wait out the 5 years, and then they can sell it for a profit if they choose, for a $500 investment. I mean, I think it could go either way here. I guess it just depends on whether or not we want to take the risk of them not paying their taxes on the property if we refuse.
And if they don't pay the taxes, again, after a certain number of years, then it goes right through the process of upset judicial sale, and so I don't know.
Okay, so I don't know. I just feel like they knew going in the three things that they listed in their letter as the basis for wanting to resell. They knew they didn't have a trailer. It wasn't where they exactly wanted and would require work. So I just think if we keep allowing this, it's going to become problematic. So I will go along with the board and allow this, but I think you need to highlight, bold, and underline the statement in the conditions that they're not allowed to use it as a rental property. I think you need to add language that covers all conditions, whether there's, new fees imposed in an area, or, if you find another property that seems to be more desirable or whatever it may be. I'm sure Joe can come up with something all encompassing. And I think from this point forward, unless there's special circumstances, we don't allow it. That's my opinion. So okay. There was a motion to allow it. So if somebody wants the second. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Is everybody all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And sorry, I don't know if there's a delay. Any nays? Okay.
Okay.
And if I could please see the new updated language, or the new document that has all the disclosures.
Yeah, I would have to. We'll include it in the application that they have to submit.
Okay, right. I want to see it though before we finalize it.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Subsection D, advisory committee, property acquisition, disposition, discussion.
Okay. If everyone wants to get their pictures of the properties that are going to be on today's agenda. The first one is at Starling Lane, S74 in Covington Township. An application was received from Jorge Ferreira and Kelly Moraes of Elizabeth, New Jersey. And again, this is an Eagle Lake property, and they want to maintain it and use it for recreation. They submitted an offer of $500 for that property.
The first four properties that are pictured all of a sudden has a pop-up. Is that something new we're going to have, or?
Yeah. The old maps, the old mapping GIS system that we had is, no longer available to us. So I have to use one that's the Lackawanna County currently has.
And I'm assuming that the people that's listed at the top were the former owners?
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Who lost it. Yep. Okay. Okay, that's the first property. The second one is a Sailor Street R198 in Covington Township. And this application was received from Jose and Dina Pereira of Elizabeth, New Jersey. And they also want to purchase this property at Eagle Lake and use it for recreation. There were no other applications for this property, so they offered $500 for the property. The next property is at 1310 Price Street. We received a purchase application from St. Anne's Marionite Catholic Church, Father Mansour. The church owns a property up the street at 1320 Price Street and at 208 North Sumner Avenue. According to their application, they plan to use the property for church functions. Now, the overhead view of this shows the structure on it, but that structure is no longer there. It has been taken down by the city. Okay, as a nonprofit, and as we have in the past, we can sell this property to them for their offer of $150. Any questions on that one? Okay. The next one is 538 rear of North Irving Avenue in Scranton. We received an application from an adjacent property owner, Elizabeth Dickens. She would like to purchase the property and extend her yard. She was the only one who has an application on file. She submitted an offer of $150 for this side lot. The next one, there's two properties on the next one, 516 West Market Street in Scranton and 520 West Market Street in Scranton. We received two property purchase applications from Nicholas Vorberger on behalf of 538 West Market Street, LLC. They maintain their residence up at Lakeville, PA. They own an adjacent property at 522 West Market Street. That would be a vacant lot, but they also own a structure further up the street. Now, I don't know if anybody's familiar with this area, but there's not much space in the front of these properties. There's just like maybe 10 to 20 feet before it drops off in the back. They just want to buy these properties to extend their properties on West Market Street. They submitted an offer of $150 for each property. Any questions? That's it. And these properties were reviewed by the advisory committee prior to this meeting. And Jesse, right? Everybody's good with them, right?
Yep. All were recommended. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay. So we are now on new business, number 8 of the agenda.
All right. Well, 7. Yeah, 8. I'm sorry.
I put my glasses somewhere. I'm sorry. So I could see something. Okay, there we go. So we have resolution 23-027, approving the acquisition of additional property from the tax claim office repository list of unsold property. These were the 6 addresses of Starling Lane, S740 Covington Township, Sailor Street, R198 Covington Township, 1310 Price Street in Scranton, 516 West Market Street, Scranton, 520 West Market Street, Scranton, and 638 rear North Irving Avenue in Scranton.
Yes.
It says NO period. You might just want to take the O out and just put N period.
Okay.
Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 23-027?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, resolution 23-028, approving the conveyance of certain land bank owned property under the property purchase program. So there is the Starling Lane S-740 Covington Township property purchased by, how do you say that? Is it
Would be Jorge.
Jorge Ferreira and Kelly Morris? I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Purchase price $500. Second parcel is Sailor Street R-198 in Covington Township. Purchasers Jose and Dina Pereira. Purchase price $500. And the third parcel, 1310 Price Street in Scranton. Purchaser St. Anne Maronite Catholic Church. Purchase price $150.
Excuse me, Commissioner. I just want to just
Sorry?
say, there's a typographical error on the parcel number for Sailor Street. I put an extra 8 in there, so that will be taken off. Okay.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution number 23-028 with the revision that Ralph just talked about?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Okay. And lastly, we have resolution number 23-029, approving the conveyance of certain land bank owned property under the side lot purchase program. And this 2 properties. The first is 638 Rear North. Again, just take the O out, Ralph. So it's N period, North Irving Avenue in Scranton. A purchase price of $150 by Elizabeth Dickens. And the second address, actually there's 2 addresses, 516 West Market Street in Scranton, 520 West Market Street in Scranton, with the same purchaser, listed as 538 West Market Street at $150 per parcel. So it would be $300, correct?
Yep.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve resolution 23-029?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have
Second.
a second?
Second.
On the question?
On the question, just
Okay.
it's not something on the resolution. Ralph, was that purchaser 538 West Market Street LLC?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you should add that in there, just because that looks like just a fictitious name rather than the entity.
I will add that to the final resolution to be signed.
Okay, so we are approving this resolution based on the condition that Ralph will make those 2 changes, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Agenda number 9, opportunity for the public to address the board.
They have to vote on that.
We already did, didn't we? Oh, no, I'm sorry. On the question you asked, you said about the change.
Yeah.
All in favor for resolution 23-029?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any nays?
Nope.
Okay, I'm not on my game today. I apologize. Number 9, opportunity for the public to address the board. Ralph, was there anything?
No, the public had until 9 this morning, and I did not receive anything.
And last, the director's other business. Does anybody have anything that they would like to discuss or talk about? No? Okay, so our next scheduled meeting is Wednesday, September 13th at 11 a.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, everyone. I'll enjoy the rest of your summer. I'll see you guys in September. Have a good one.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Brenda, I'll see you in a
Thank
couple
you,
minutes.
everyone.
Yes.
Thank-
Bye.
Bye-bye.